Bots for the win.
Coming up on Bots for the Win, we're going to cover the 10 things I wish I knew when I started building bots. So we're going to cover the 10. We're going to save you time and effort in your bot building, hopefully, and offer some perspective on the big picture. What's up, guys? Patrick, your host with you. Thanks for listening. Now, what we're going to cover today is not really in any particular order. They're just some of my own learnings and musings and observations, if you will, that I hope you can sort of put into your own bot building that will save you some time and some effort. So here we go, 10 of them in no particular order. Numero uno, personalization. I bang on about this all day long because I think it's so incredible. And you totally have to insert the world famous Carnegie quote here. A person's name, and I quote, a person's name is to him or her the sweetest and most important sound in any language. That quote is profound, has been for years and years and years. So know how important personalization is. Know how amazing. And by the way, what do I mean when I say personalization? Facebook gives you by default their first name, their last name, their given name, their Christian name, and you can use one or none or some or any combination thereof, and you can use it all over the place. And this is just absolutely profound. When you contrast it towards website visitors and how vanilla that particular experience is, this is what makes bots so incredible. You've got personalization right there at your fingertips. You don't even have to ask. They don't have to fill out a form. They don't have to do anything. You just got it. So leverage it. Use it all over the place. Amazing thing to have at your fingertips. That's number one. Number two, broadcast in general in time zones is something that you need to be very, very understanding and delicate of. What do you mean? Let me give you an example. I'm Patrick. I join your bot. I'm either traveling or I'm in Europe. You don't know that. So you decide to send a broadcast out at 2 a.m. my time. And so at 2 a.m. my time, I've had a couple of beers, lovely night, read a book. I'm getting some much needed rest of sleep. And there it is on my nightstand. I start hearing it. I don't want to hear that. No one wants to. Oh, man. Now I'm up. My wife's up. My kid's screaming. And all I want to do is choke you. I want to find out where you live, jump out of your bot and choke you. You don't want that to happen. So people are going to join your bot from all over the place. That's number one. Number two, at least in ManyChat when you broadcast, I'm sure the others have it too, there's like a time shift feature. I can't remember what they call it, time shift feature. So you need to be cognizant of always using that and not sending to people at absolutely out of control times and hours, because you will fry these people out so hard, so quickly, you don't want to do it. So understand that. Understand also too, this isn't really a tactical episode, but understand also that, you have the opportunity to send broadcast with the and without the. You can send two of them or you can send none of them. So think through how important you think your message is. You don't have to have it go bing, 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 bing every single solitary time. So pay attention to that. Number three is Gifs. Some people call them GIFs. I am not some people. I call them Gifs. Where to get them and how. You need to be using them all the time. I think everybody knows this, but I know a lot of people are going to be listening to this. They're just starting building bots, and maybe they don't know. Giphy.com, Giphy.com. Really strong search engine there. You can search just about anything. You can find absolutely great, fantastic GIFs, and you definitely want to use a large amount of them. They keep the conversation snappy, moving, relevant, enjoyable, and you want to find the right ones, and sometimes the right ones can be so emotive, can express such a range of emotions, which is fantastic. Now, a little sidebar, sometimes the Giphy ones get a little played out, so you can do what just about everyone in the world does, which is steal from Reddit. Reddit is a community with some of the most creative people in the entire world in it, and the sheer number of brands that have gone in there and jacked GIFs and or language is striking. So they have two that I think are great, and it sort of augments, gives you a little bolt on when you need a little bit more elevation. You're not finding it on Giphy. So I'll put these in the show notes, but it's reddit.com/r/gifs, and then they've got a really, really good one called r/reaction gifs. And the /r is how you use Reddit. Don't worry about it. I'll put the notes in the show notes. You can get them. But the reaction gifs is especially really powerful because it's, it's a bunch of these posts like my face when, or how I react to, just amazing. And there's some really, really creative use of language in there that you can borrow and throw into your bot copy too. So 2 for 1, use gifs all the time. Number 3. Number 4, emoticons, emoji. The built-in system is a pain. A lot of people use it and think that's the only one that you can use. I would say Emoji 1 is the current winner. They have a Chrome extension, and I hope you're browsing with Chrome. Maybe they have it on Safari now, I don't know. But this Chrome extension, you click it, it's a little pop-out window, and it gives you a GIF search engine. So it's kind of like a little window that'll float around your Mac, your PC. And again, I don't know if it works on Mac, but it'll float around your PC, and you can type in whatever you're searching for, copy the GIF, and throw it in. It actually auto-copies to the clipboard too. So if you're editing your flow in ManyChat or even like a post in Facebook, it will automatically insert it for you, which is fantastic. Again, link to that thing in the show notes, but that will make the use of your emoji really, really simple. You're not going to be scrolling up and down through lists or messing around with anything. It's really going to help you out tremendously. Number 5 is it dovetails with the personalization, but the personalization on the getting started page is a big deal. I think it's a little hinge that's capable of swinging a big door. What do I mean? When somebody searches your bot or uses a JSON ad or gets into it through one of the various different on-ramps that we've discussed, and it's 2-stage. They still have to click that Get Started button, right, on that Get Started page. You're able to personalize even that before they've even opted into the bot. And side note, I'm not sure if that's legal with the GDPR. I don't really care about GDPR personally. Don't tell them that. I don't want Brussels suing me. But you can personalize that page. It is fantastic. And, when you have an experience with a bot for the first time and already they're using your first name, just so good. Personalization for the win. Okay, that's number 5. And bots for the win. Number 6, do not get caught up in the AI machine learning hype cycle. Yes, it's here. It's already starting to work. It's coming. It's going to do amazing things. But boy, there's so much work to do between now and then. There's so much tweaking and individual hand adjustment in order for an AI and or machine learning to be really, really good. It takes tremendous amounts of training and huge data sets. Most bot builders just getting started don't have a whole heck of a lot of either. I see the people that are attempting to include it, incorporate it, and build it into their bots and have it be totally normal conversation. There are so many different variances of human communication and slang and emoji and this and that and the other. Point is, it's a ways off. It's not going to be here anytime soon. If you're one of the ones that are testing it and want to start testing it, that's awesome. But either way, a bot is like a car that's leaking oil all the time. You constantly have to be doing maintenance on it and training it and keeping it on the road and keeping it getting better. So bad analogy. I have to come up with a better one. But anyway, don't get caught up in that hype cycle or feel like you need to. The bot you're not going to get some AI and it's not right around the corner that's going to completely run your entire business for you where you don't have to touch anything and don't have to do anything. That's just not practical. It's not realistic. So know that. I think if you have that perspective and you get in there and you just start building and learning the manual way, the old-fashioned way, by the time the rest of that technology comes around, you're going to have such a great insight on user intents, on what they're actually looking for, about how they want to interact and what words and what language with your site, your bot, that you'll be way ready. You'll be in a way better position to fully leverage what machine learning, AI, and all that good stuff is coming down the corner. Okay, number 7. And I would almost say that number 7 is probably the most important one on this list as I look at it, but maybe not. There's some other important ones. Understanding how important previewing your bot is. I mean, this is just you preview again and again and again and then preview again. What do I mean? When you're in ManyChat and you're building your bot flow, I'm sure the others have it. I just haven't seen it, but you have a button to preview the flow. Preview the broadcast sequence, whatever it is. It's all flow-based, right? So I can't begin to underscore how important it is that you do this again and again and again, and not just do it again, again, and again, but do it on a cell phone, because the majority of the people that experience your bot are going to be doing it on a mobile device. So why wouldn't you want to experience it in the same venue that they are? You would, and you do. The tradecraft, the tiny little technique and the nuance of how big of a difference a 3-second delay makes versus a 5-second delay. Did I have enough time to read all that text? I don't feel like I did have all the time to read that text. This video takes a little bit longer to load. Why am I giving them all these other text blocks down below the video? They haven't even finished watching the video yet. They haven't finished watching the video. You'll never know any of that stuff until you really get your preview game on. And so preview again and again and again. It is what separates the amateur, the rookie, the bush leagues from the pros, right? So preview again and again and again and again. And don't be afraid. I mean, on some flows, I'm not kidding, I'm previewing 30, 40, 50 times until, especially on the complicated ones, until I feel really, really good about it. And I've adjusted the timing, and the result you get, it's natural, it's engaging, it's going to have a higher open rate, click-through rate, all of that good stuff, all that jazz. It's going to keep them moving because it feels natural and it feels awesome. So very important one. And then also, even if you can, have somebody else preview it, because it's always good to get a second set of eyes. That's number 7. Number 8, he who is closest to the customer wins. This is becoming a mantra. Maybe it's always been a mantra for the smart guys, for the Jeff Bezos, for the Sam Walton. It's always been a mantra. But don't be afraid of jumping in there, having chats, talking to your people, and learning. It will absolutely spin your head around on the things that they're interested in, the things that they want to do, the things about your website that they don't understand, the recommendations that they have. It's just, the closer you are, the more time you spend interacting with your customer, it ends up becoming such a powerful thing. So I think it's an important thing to always keep in the back of your head. Everybody always wants to automate everything. Everybody wants to stay at a digital arm's length from the real conversations. And that's one of the things that makes bots so awesome, so amazing. That's number 8. Number 9, this is an important one too. Just ship it. Launch the boat. It's the early days. Your bot's going to break. Some people are going to get pissed, ticked, miffed off. So what? Some people are strange. We value people always, right? But don't be afraid to manually unsub a person from time to time and learn from it. You got to just get going, start playing with things, break things. There's absolutely no better way to learn. And then chat them up right in the middle of it. I read somewhere that somebody called it, I wish I could find the article, but someone called it like the Wizard of Oz technique, where the wizard's hiding behind the curtain and he's driving all the things. Like, don't be afraid to be behind the curtain yourself and have somebody in one of your flows, and your bot's not done. You should have the 15 other things that you want to throw into it. Oh, if I could just get this, and it would be done. No, launch it, play the Wizard of Oz, stand behind the curtain, and act like you're the bot and drive the conversation and see how it works, see how it flows, see how it goes. It's awesome. It's just amazing. And if it does break, get in there and just say, hey, I'm so sorry, we're still training this bot. Can you tell me what happened? Can you tell me what happened? What were you trying to do? Where were you trying to go to? What was that button supposed to do? Did you find it too long, too short? What do you think? So it's early. Just ship it. Learn. Always be learning. Always be improving it. There's no better way. You can ask questions all the time. Number 10, if you build it, they will come. Said no intelligent person ever. It might have worked for Kevin Costner in the cornfields, whatever that movie is, Field of Dreams, but he is the only one it's ever worked for, right? So as you're starting to play with your bot, and remember, playing with it, getting better, learning it, building flows, previewing it, doing all the cool things that we just talked about, personalization, try not to spend all your time working on it. Spend a good amount of time, even if it's just headspace at first, equal if not more, sorting out all of the ways to get people into your bot. It's going to take time. The more people you have in your bot, the more experiences you're going to get, the more you're going to learn. It ends up becoming just an absolutely critical component of the bot building experience, and something that we're going to devote a tremendous amount of time on this podcast to is how to get people into the bot, right? We've already talked about a bunch of them. I mean, episode number 3 was all the ways you can get people into the bot. Episode number 2 is the contest, right? How to get people into the bot is just absolutely critical. So those are my 10. I might come back and do another 10 later, but those are the 10 things I wish I knew when I started building bots. So to get everything that was mentioned in the episode today, you can pull out your phone. I know you have your phone in your pocket. We all do. Phone's in the pocket 24/7. So pull out that phone, stop yogging, and search for bots for the win. Bots for the win. Or you can just search for bots FTW and click get started. You'll be in my bot. You can get to the show notes. You can get to the show notes for all the other episodes. You can see how I like to build my bots. And yeah, that's the jam. Now, bot teardowns. It is currently, as I record this, 6/20/2018, the early stages of the pinnacle of modern sport, the greatest sporting event of all time, and the biggest sporting event in the world. I'm speaking of none other than the World Cup. The World Cup 2018, sans the United States, which don't even get me started on that. But I've been sort of searching around, looking around for World Cup bots, trying to see if has anybody put anything together that's good, that's great. By the way, if you've experienced one, holler at your boy, bots for the win, search on Messenger. I found one today. I was on Botlist, I think, and somebody built one. It was like the World Cup quiz, and it was built by one of these bigger shops, and pretty cool, pretty interesting implementation. A lot of action in it. This one was built with Chat Fuel again, and I found it pretty impressive. And there was a hack in there that I saw for the first time that I haven't seen anyone else pull off, which I thought was really, really interesting, which I think is going to be a great one for anybody that builds bots for other companies and then wants to have a link to their bot inside the bot. You can probably guess what it is, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to see the Chatbot Teardown. So I've got one of those. It will be in the show notes. You can actually check it out in your podcaster. And I think it's the 2018 World Cup quiz, but very, very cool bot. I think, it's doing a little newsjacking, riding the World Cup wave, which I know is not the biggest thing in the United States, but it is the biggest thing everywhere else. It's huge. So some good snappy stuff in there, good thing to check out. So that's the bot teardown. Thanks again for listening. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic week, and speak to you next time.